Hello everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Veil Tarot and Astrology. My name is Candace Marie. Thanks for joining me. Happy Friday. Hopefully you guys are kicking off your weekend the right way. We're going to be doing live readings on the channel this evening. We're going to be doing tarot readings by donation. Give everybody a little bit of time just to kind of pop in and see that we're going live. But if you can see this, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up and like the stream. I would appreciate it. It helps kind of get our video out into YouTube and let other people know that we're going live. And while you're at it, make sure you're subscribed. If not, click the button below so you're alerted as to when we have new content coming out on the channel. And it's Friday. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm a Western astrologer with an emphasis working also with tarot. We alternate every other Friday and we do live readings based off of donation. If you'd like to get a reading, there's a QR code right up here. You can scan that with your phone or your tablet and it'll take you directly to my PayPal where you can get in the queue and make a donation for a reading. Now it's $20 donation for one card, $40 for a 3-card spread, and you can ask whatever question you'd like. When you scan the QR code, it's going to take you to my PayPal. Please in the memo put at least your first name and your specific question. That's helpful. That way we can kind of get to everybody in a timely fashion. And also I have an idea of what it is that you have questions about. And if you guys want to get a reading and you want to hang out, that's totally cool. You can hang out in the chat and see what other people's readings are. And before we get into that, I'll give you guys a read off of who we have. But it's the beginning of July, which is like crazy how fast this year is going. So I wanted to take time to say a big thank you to all of my members. Not everybody knows I have memberships on my channel. There's 3 different levels. Level 1 is just getting in and donating and supporting my work. So for just a couple dollars a month, you can support my content and support a content creator who's trying to create content full time. We're a 2-person team, so there's a lot that goes into this in terms of developing the actual lectures and shooting it and editing it, and it's like a whole process. So we're basically kind of running like a YouTube studio out of our house. So you guys make it possible to do that through your donations and your memberships. Level 2, you're going to get a shout out from me personally. And level 3, you're going to get all of those things and a reading once a month. It's a pretty good deal actually. For the same price pretty much of a reading, you can support my channel and you can get a reading once a month, tarot or astrology. So that way you guys can kind of stay informed. But I wanted to say a big thank you to all of my level 2 and 3 members like Rocio, MV, HP Hughes, Coco, Catherine Murray, Claudia, Enchanted Crossroads, Jen, Sharon, Susanna, Deb, Tonya, Barbara, Penny, Steve, Paula, Angela, Willow, Emma, Susan, Taliba, Jackie, Harazed, Nancy, Jessica Martinez, and Susan Wexler. Thank you guys so much. You guys make it possible for me to keep doing this. So those of you guys who are already getting a reading, consider joining level 3 so you can do that monthly. And if it's your first time, definitely say hello. What's going on? I see you, Anne. Hey, Awakened. Hey, Ben. And My One Life. Hello. Hey, Moon Maiden. I like readings during Pisces moons too, huh? Especially like all these like water trines and stuff. Definitely a fun time to be tapping in and see what we got going on. Are there any level 3 people that are here? Obviously, it's the first Friday of the month. So if you'd like to cash in on your reading for the month, let me know. Otherwise, I got a couple people who are already in the queue who are waiting. And this is going to be Sherry. We've got Jessica and Matt or Kurt, either or. And if you guys make a donation and you want to get a reading, just let me know, especially if your name differs from that on your YouTube. Sometimes the PayPal name is different. So we'll go ahead and get started. If we don't have any level 3 people, get right into my list. Hey, Sherry. And she says, career reading, please. I purchased 3-card spread. I got you. Hey, Jen. I'm happy to read for you. Let me know what your question is. And that's the benefit of being level 3. If you guys are level 3, you're going to get your readings first. You're not going to have to wait, especially like nights that we have astrology. That's like really a long wait. So I'll take Jen, and then we're going to have Sherry, and then the other Jen, and then Matt. So let me know, Gen C, what I can tell you. I'll shuffle the cards and get ready to ask your question. Otherwise, I'll just give you a general reading. And those of you guys who pop in, who are just tuning in, if you guys want to get a reading, you can scan the QR code. We'll get you in the queue. $20 for one card, $40 for three. Ask whatever you'd like. What's up, Rosie? Jen, do we have a question? General reading. Okay, you got it. So let's take a look and see what the cards say for Jen. Okay, so in this order, here we go. 8 of Coins, the Empress, and the Page of Swords. I actually really like this because, you know, for me, this kind of seems like there's a real emphasis in like really being able to focus on growing, perfecting, developing, building something. And almost like you're doing all of the work before you start telling people like about it, or you're focusing on quality, or you're focusing on like growing something or developing something. And also it's something that involves you, because the Empress is coming up in the center position, and followed by the Page of Swords, which can be about announcements or communication, or getting ready to tell somebody about something, getting ready to announce something. So 8 of Coins is about perfecting and honing in on your craft, right? It's like about an artisan that's just like working time and time again on the same piece and like learning how to perfect what it is that he's building or what he's creating. 8 of Coins means talking about development of wealth, really being kind of like tuned into what your purpose is, what you're building, something in regards to developing or perfecting something that can be sold, or something that can bring in some kind of resources or value. It can be about working on yourself, because the Empress is about what you're nurturing and taking care of, or what you're growing. But it can also be about yourself. It can be about the way you're treating yourself, the way that you're taking care of yourself, your self-care. It can mean that you're paying more attention to the details and really focusing on surrounding yourself with things that are comfortable or things that are beautiful, and like wanting to bring more beauty and more harmony into your life. The Empress is a card that is also associated very much with Venus. And so it can be about the development of relations with other people. It can be about the development of relations with clients or business related things. It can also be about seeing your garden grow, and everything that kind of surrounds you that is meant to be giving you more support and more security. But sometimes this is a card that also comes up that talks about like motherhood, mothering, you know, your relationship to like women, or to your kind of feminine side. And then the Page of Swords, which can be talking more so about communications and like letting a message out or getting the point across. Maybe you're being more adamant about telling people just the acts that you're actually focusing on right now when it comes to self-care, or that you're focusing on quality over quantity, that you're spending more time or focusing on trying to create more time for the things that you love, or the things that bring you more harmony or kind of joy. It may also be a time where you may find yourself wanting to kind of connect and like talk to other women, or talking to, you know, other clients that might be women, or collaborating with like other women in your community, and talking a lot about like how much work you're basically doing on yourself, or you're working on within your career. Generally, when pages show up, it can talk about younger people. So sometimes when the page comes up with the Empress, I'll say, well, if you're a mom, it can be about your relationship with one of your children, particularly if you have one that's an air sign. So like a Libra or a Gemini, or an Aquarius can kind of pop in. And pages also represent like the beginning process of something. So I think it's interesting that it starts first with you perfecting and like developing something that's really valuable or putting in the hard work or the effort. And it ends with you kind of putting that information out and being like, hey, look what I've completed. A lot of like not boasting about what you've accomplished until it's actually been complete. And then you're sharing some of these results and some of these things that you're celebrating or some of these goals that you've been able to kind of complete with other people. Sometimes communication, messages, emails, things like that come in with the Page of Swords, and it can be something that happens very quickly that prompts you to want to like communicate and share something. So if you're looking to make more connections and really develop your relationships with other people, or if you're looking to connect with like-minded people, or if you're looking to like get more traction professionally, this can be a really good indication that there's going to be many opportunities for you to do that, especially like I see the Empress is putting it out there and being like, look at everything that I've built, like look at what I've been able to kind of create on my own. And it's been a result of building myself up and taking good care of myself and only focusing on the things that I value. So there's going to be some sense of like either accomplishment, some kind of fulfillment, you being able to share this with other people. And it can be a really good indication that there's going to be some positive feedback that you're going to be getting, especially when it comes to work or finances. Okay. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Thanks, Rosie. I will get you in just a second. What's up, Dave? Hey, Patrick. That's right. It's the 7-7 portal, huh? Everybody, is that like the new trend? It's no longer like 8-8 anymore. It's no longer Lionsgate. I got Rosie, Janae, Jeremy, and Rome. What's up, guys? I got you in the queue. I appreciate it. David says, woohoo, it's Friday night live. Howdy, y'all. So let's take Sherry. I know Sherry has questions about career stuff. She wants to know what she needs to know about career. Okay, so let's just take a look. Let's get right into it. She got a 3-card spread. All right, Sherry, well, let's see what the cards have to say about career. You're welcome, Jen. Spot on, especially my air sign sun. I like it. Brought to you by the moon in Pisces. All right, so this is for Sherry and her career reading. What's up, Empress? Hey, brown eye lady. Hey, Monica. 1, 2, 3. Sherry, my dear. Do you work in like a partnership? Is there like some kind of like, you have somebody else that's like your counterpart at work? Just curious. And your sun sign, if you want to share that. Queen of Wands, King of Pentacles, and the 11. Hello, can you imagine the 11 of Swords? The 10 of Swords. Interesting, because to me it seems like there's some focus on like teamwork or something that's being developed that may come to an end. I know that sounds kind of like weird, but Queen of Wands is talking about either a fire sign woman. It's talking about you kind of embodying this more creative, fierce, direct type of energy. It can mean that you're getting really passionate about what you want to create and where you want to be going with your professional life, and that you have ideas and you have things that you want to see happen. Queens are really positive because it tells me, especially if we're reading for a woman, that you're like really embodying and showing up in a very mature way. So the element of fire is about what makes us feel alive. It's about what's exciting, what's going to be the most creative, what's going to be the most fun. So you might be feeling like you're in a very creative phase right now. Okay. Followed by the King of Pentacles. So this can be talking about your relationship to another person. It can be your relationship to a man. It can represent either a business partner or a romantic partner or even a boss. But if you're not working right now, I could see like this being about a relationship that you have with another person where you're like talking about what it is that you do want to be doing, and maybe getting some feedback, right? Especially like the King of Pentacles is generally somebody who has a lot of experience in any given field. They're very productive. They're really focused on business. They know how to be putting, the work in to kind of yield the rewards that you're looking for. So the King of Pentacles can be somebody who says to you, okay, you know what, I've got an idea, I've got a job, I've got a potential, for you, But it can also be about you getting feedback from another individual. So I'm wondering if this is you talking to like a job coach, or if this is you doing an interview, or if this is you talking to your partner about, hey, this is what I want to do creatively, and this is what, you know, the feedback that you're getting is somebody saying to you, this is what you have to do in order to make that happen. Maybe giving you some advice and maybe making some recommendations, followed by then the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords is a challenging card. This is a card that's definitely going to be about you facing some challenges in regards to, you know, wanting to say, okay, we're putting an end to a certain cycle. Maybe you want to get out of like this rat race of feeling like you're just going job to job trying to find fulfillment, and you're like, I don't want to do that anymore. Also, it's possible that you're realizing that certain potential paths that you have considered in terms of your professional stuff in the past is no longer like viable. So you're like, okay, I don't want to do that type of work anymore. That's done. I'm moving on to something new. When we go from like a queen to a king, it also represents this energy of like leveling up, right? Because the queen represents how you're nurturing and focusing on some of these creative energies, but the king can represent where you're like, but how do I make it a thing? Like, how do I make it into a particular line of work? How do I make that successful? How do I make money off of that? How do I manage it? So there can be a sense of you realizing in order to level up that certain ways of thinking, right, swords, or certain ways of communicating have to come to an end for you to be able to kind of make that like leap into like the next big thing. Now, I would be paying attention for any connections to fire and earth sign people right now. So if you're not a fire sign, then it can be about you embodying these traits or meeting one. And if you're open to connecting or collaborating with other people, you know, the King of Coins can definitely be somebody who comes in that kind of helps you like really move along when it comes to your career. I'm wondering though, like, what is it that's having to end for you? Because for the Ten of Swords to be in the ending position, it does seem to indicate that there can be a sense of a definitive, okay, that door is closing. The card that I get for the confirmation is definitely going to be the Nine of Wands. So that's kind of saying like, it's been an uphill battle. We're not doing this anymore. You're feeling like you're at your end of your rope. Any feedback on that? Trying to see if I can find you here. Thanks, Bonnie. I got you. I'll get you in a second. Did I lose you? No, not working right now. Sag, Sun, Scorpio rising. There you go. Sorry, there was other messages I was trying to see. Apologies, spammers in the chat. There we go. So, no, not working. Sag, Sun, Scorpio rising. So that's talking about you. Have you been talking to anybody about starting anything new? Yeah, I'm unemployed, trying to figure out my next move career-wise. Be mindful of like getting any harsh feedback. So I don't know if like this can be talking about like either a partner or, you know, a significant other or somebody that's in your life. The King of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords can be somebody who gives you some really harsh like responses in regards to like, okay, this is what you can and cannot do. Or they might say to you like, you know, be sensible, be practical, like do what you need to do. And you're like, I don't want to do that. I want to do something that's going to be more creative. I would say this is more about kind of icing out anything that's no longer working for you in terms of your lifestyle or in terms of your interests, and getting to the point where you're like, okay, what can I start learning more about, or what can I start changing, and embracing like letting the old stuff go. Like this isn't as simple as me being like, yeah, you're just going to do the same thing you've always done work-wise. It doesn't look like that. It looks like there has to be a complete cycle that ends in order for you to kind of feel like you're ready to start the next thing. I wonder if the King of Pentacles is going to be, you know, you potentially talking to like a coach or somebody who is going to potentially help you with some kind of job placement. The King of Pentacles can be really good for going and talking to somebody who like works in, who works in like headhunting, or somebody who works in job placement, or it can be somebody who manages something in regards to temping. And you go in and you say, well, these are all the things that I'm really good at, you know, that I really enjoy doing. But it's definitely looking to me like it's going to be a complete change in regards to what you've done in the past, if that makes any sense. And not feeling agitated if things don't pick up immediately, because the Ten of Swords can be like you almost feeling like, okay, well, what's the point, right? Like I keep trying, but I'm not making any headway. If you're a Sag Sun, regardless of your ascendant, you're going to be seeing that like the eclipses that are still going to be coming in Taurus are great for new job changes. When you see Jupiter in your 6th house, which is your ruler, it's good for job changes. And I know that a lot of Sagittarius are going to go through big changes in regards to where they're working or how they're working with this incoming Mercury retrograde. That's going to be taking place in Virgo. So pretty soon, actually, Mars is going to be going into Virgo in this next week, really amping up the potential and the opportunity for a Sag Sun or Sag Rising to really see a lot of momentum when it comes to career. The challenges are going to be the opposition to Saturn. So there's going to be like this sense of like, can I step away from home or family responsibilities? You know, am I willing to get outside of the house and go and see what else is out there? You really want to work with and like monopolize on Mars coming into a trine with Jupiter, which will be happening more so next week. And that's going to allow you to like have a new change in your schedule and a change of pace. And Mars in your 10th house also can be a really good time to go seeking a position, even if it's something that's going to be like new or, you know, temporary. You're going to get more traction, I think, with Mars in your 10th house because people are going to see that you're taking the initiative. So be prepared to make a change. And it seems like it can be overwhelming, but change can be good, you know? Hopefully that's helpful for you, Sherry. So we've got Jessica B. Let's see. So who is this? Is that you, Jess Poet? I'm new here. Can you please ask for some insight on my relationship with my daughter? I'm assuming that's you. Yeah, Mercury retrograde will be in Virgo next. Not for a little bit, not until September. Yeah, we're still taking donations. You guys can scan the QR code and it takes you directly to my page. Just put your first name and your info in the memo, please. All right, so there she is. Hey, Jess. Okay, so I wanted to make sure this was the right Jess. Jessica B. Okay, cool. All right, so let's ask the cards and see. Can I ask for some insight on your relationship with your daughter? Of course. So what does Jess need to know about the relationship with her daughter? It was in this order. Interesting card in the center that's sandwiched by, you know, two more potentially positive cards. So, you know, 10 of Coins talks about family, togetherness, growth, long-term stability. The Pentacles can represent health. It can represent finances. It can represent what is like solid and like, you know, nurturing and like life-giving, right? Long-term plans and family stability comes from the 10 of Pentacles. 10s are always about completing things. In a relationship sense or in a family sense, it's kind of saying like, okay, we stick together, or in the long term, we continue to focus on developing our union and strengthening all of our bonds. And also it talks about like a big family, a committed family. It can be about a traditional family, but generally it's a positive card because you see like the, you know, older people, you know, with their children and their dogs and their kingdom, and like everything is kind of coming together, and it's an all's well as ends well kind of card. So it's positive, saying like there is the foundation there for the relationship and the family, followed by the 5 of Cups. Can be a more challenging card coming up here. Obviously, the color is quite a stark contrast compared to the blue skies of the first card. Which off the bat tells you right away, like there is some sense of loss or rejection or mourning, or kind of feeling like, you know, you're going through some stormy weather. Cloaked also with the back turned to the front of the card. And for me, this is the crying over spilled milk card. This can be like somebody being so stuck in an emotional situation, sadness, isolation, despair, you know, whatever, that it's keeping them from being able to connect. So it can be saying that there's been some stuff that's gone on where somebody is having a hard time healing forgiving, forgetting, moving on, or overcoming something. And there's 3 cups here next to the river that are tipped over, if you guys can see that. So that can represent like there being upsets in relationships, there being more than one person involved, or somebody getting their feelings hurt, having a difficult time recovering from something, and there being some overall kind of like disharmony of some kind. Now behind, we see the 2 cups, which is about relationships. And so whenever I see this card come up, I always tell a client, like, look, it's a minor card. It means that it's going to be a temporary situation. So if there are some disagreements, misunderstandings, lack of connection or communication, this is temporary. And the 2 of Cups behind also symbolizes the fact that there's still potential for a relationship and for a union. So I don't really feel like this is something that's indicating that there's going to be like a falling out or like a long-term disconnection. It's just kind of like, hey, this person clearly has their feelings hurt, or there's been something that's gone on that's made them feel like it's hard for them to connect with you, or it's hard for them to be completely transparent, right? Because they're cloaked when it comes to their emotions and something that they're going through. Now this is the right now card. Being that it's the 5 of Cups, I wonder if this is going to be something that's going to be going on for like the immediate next 5 weeks or so. Like we got a lot of planets in Cancer right now. Like we're seeing all of that trying out to Neptune. So lots of people are going through their healing phase at the moment, and they're like learning to kind of take a step back and take time to themselves before they reassess and decide how they're going to be moving forward. Then finally, we finished the reading with the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is the love card, the relationship card, it's healing also. It has the potential for like fresh starts, especially when it comes to relationships. And it's about a lot of love being there. So I find it interesting that the 2 of the better cards that could have come up in the past and the future position. And it's sandwiching, almost like it's like, you know, like holding on to or hugging this card, which is having a difficult time, which makes me feel inclined to tell you, like, clearly the family is all sticking together, or there's something going on where like other people support you, and she knows that there is support there, on top of the fact that there seems to be opportunities for renewal of this relationship and reconnecting and healing. But it's going to come from holding space and being like, I know you're having your moment, like I understand the feelings got hurt, or there's something that you're dealing with and like you're having a hard time connecting. I still love you. I'm still here when you want to talk about this. I'm still hoping to see you. Like I'm going to keep trying. Because the Ace of Cups is about offering. So it's like that connection that you have, wanting to offer somebody, you know, to come and like join you. So I think that really the key here is just patience, right? And also understanding that when she's done moving through what she's moving through, and if you remind her, I'm still here when you decide to talk, I still have hope we can connect, or remedy the situation, or work through this, or heal it, likely love will conquer all, right? But you're looking at, you know, Ace of Cups can be about a month, 5 of Cups can be about up to 5 weeks. So you're looking at that being something that can take place about that long. And I'm wondering like what role other family members are playing in this, because the 10 of Coins is about a group of people. So are there other relatives that are like saying like, hey, I'll talk to her, or, you know, let me see what's going on, I'll check in with her? Because it seems like you have support from other people as you go through this. And you're not alone in this, basically, is what I want you to know, because I could see how you're feeling kind of shut out with this card coming up, being like, I just want to be there for her. Like, I want that connection, and like, she's, you know, cutting me off, and I wish she would come to me, or I wish she would open up to me. And so you're going to have other people, and maybe it's about kind of leaning on other family members and letting them know like where you stand on this, and that you want to respect her and give her space, but at the same time, you want to make sure that she has support. And so I think other people are going to have your back. And likely what's going to happen is when this kind of passes, you guys have an opportunity to kind of set things straight and hit refresh, right? That's what I'm hoping. Good luck with that. Challenging stuff. Mother-daughter relationships are never easy. And we see this dynamic actually a lot right now, especially with, you know, Venus getting ready to go retrograde. It's going to be a lot of reevaluating relationships, because that's what Venus is. and it can be about women, but Leo is about children, so younger people. So there can be a lot of that kind of going on. Pluto square the nodes. A lot of people are going through like a pressure point right now where they're feeling like they really need to change something and they need to evolve. So lots of people are going through a lot of internal crisis that they're not communicating very well, right? But I'm looking forward to some of the Mercury transits in this next week. I just got done filming astro weather for Sunday, and we're going to see like Mercury trine Neptune, and Mercury is going to square the nodes. So important conversations from the heart are definitely going to be taking place in the next week or so. Good luck. And she's a Leo. There you go. There you go. Seems bang on. Thank you for that, Jess. Okay, so I've got Matt Kurt. Says, wondering if there's a message for me. Wondering if there is a message about my mentor. Raven has for me about the topic we've been discussing this week. What does she want me to know? All right, so let's see if there is a message about Raven and what they've been discussing this week. Ooh, some resistance. All right, cool. So we're gonna read the cards in this order. Oh, there's the King of Pentacles again. He might be the card of the evening. We'll see. Five of Swords, Strength, and King of Pentacles. Ooh. I really like the flow of this, first of all, Kurt. Like the Five of Swords, which is talking about misunderstandings, miscommunication, learning to be more open-minded, learning to kind of lay your weapon down and not feel like you have to push things or that you have to force things. It can also talk about finally like handling conflict or where there's been misunderstandings or disagreements that have happened in the past. You know, the Five of Swords, you see him standing there with his several swords in his hand, and you see people walking away in the background, right? So it can talk about basically being like, look, we're not gonna discuss the past. We're gonna discuss, where we're moving forward, especially in the past position. That's really interesting. So maybe where there's been misunderstandings or miscommunication in the past, now we're only like looking forward and talking about what we can change versus what has taken place already. Followed by the Strength card, which ironically is not so much about physical strength. I'm sure you've heard me say this before. And it can talk about, you being able to kind of find strength in spite of what's happened in terms of past situations. So if you're having a difficult time, like coping with the loss of communication, or maybe there's been conflict in some capacity, the Strength card is like showing you like, okay, you go through these situations and it actually teaches you something and you become more so emotionally or spiritually strong. It's not about physical strength. The Strength card can also be talking about like building yourself up and having a healthier self-esteem and being able to feel confident in yourself and really carrying yourself with a very different energy and being more optimistic and also more positive and aware that if there's something that you really want, if there's something that you really want to possess or you want to achieve, you have to let it come to you. So maybe a lot of it's about like you guys having conversations about how to look at things, and rather than feeling like you have to chase something, it's about pulling your energy back and like really funneling that back into yourself and believing in yourself more and building yourself up and knowing that what is meant for you will find you. And looking at conflict differently or looking at where things have fallen away differently, right? And bringing the attention back to you. A huge theme right now. So much of the Venus retrograde Leo is very much about learning to stop seeking validation in other people or, externally outside of ourselves, learning to kind of find that internally. So I'm wondering if you're talking a lot about like where you've had interactions with people where you didn't feel good enough or you didn't feel special enough or you didn't feel attractive enough, and you're like building yourself kind of up now, and there might be less tolerance for negative self-talk in terms of your guys' interaction. It's also about you overcoming something and finding the opportunity and the ability to, believe in yourself more and, trust that whatever is kind of filtering out, whatever is going away right now, you're kind of creating space for something that's going to be better for you in the long term. Followed by the King of Pentacles, which I think is interesting. You know, I know that you're an Aquarius, but we have all of these energies that are setting up that are going to be creating like some earth trines, right? So Jupiter, North Node, Uranus, and Taurus in your second house. You've got Mars that's going into Virgo in your 6th house, and it's going to be trining all your Capricorn in the 10th house and transit Pluto. So this is about getting solid. This is about not just accountability, but like really showing up. And it can be about, you know, maturing and being seen more so as the King of Pentacles, of somebody who puts in the work and the effort to get things done, is really becoming more sensible and more practical and like more mature. This can also be about like really going after what you want in life, whether it's something that you really love and you admire, or if it's something in regards to your professional life and your career. This can be talking about overcoming difficult times and like really allowing yourself to go through those experiences and say, okay, well, I learned something from it, or I worked here for a period of time. I got what I needed from it. I had my training, my experience, now on to the next thing. And learning to kind of embrace getting older, and embracing also positive changes in regards to responsibility, specifically within your career. Now, this can also be talking about interaction that you have with like an earth sign. But I think that because there's no like women, you know, type of cards that are coming up, we're not seeing any queens, we're not seeing any pages. It's more so talking about this progressive evolution that you're kind of going through, where you're like really growing up and like learning that if you want something, you have to go after it. So I think a lot of this is going to be about her saying to you, okay, you want something, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to take action? What are you going to, you know, make happen for yourself? So she's going to be, I think, in a way, getting you to focus more on the future and not feeling so stuck or like reminiscing on the past. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And she's wanting to maybe see like how you're doing with this, or how you're mastering some of these things that she's encouraging you to be like practicing more regularly, especially when it comes to pentacle related things: money, health, resources, your career, your responsibilities, things that you can physically do. It looks like that's where she's going to be really like encouraging you. And it looks like you're going to be successful. I mean, the Strength card in the King of Pentacles is like feeling really fulfilled in seeing the progress that you've made just within yourself. It doesn't have to be about job or money or, you know, prestige. It can be more just about finally evolving and going like, okay, I'm not focusing on what's not working. I'm focusing on bringing in what is going to be good for me. And like, I'm not trying to control the rest. And that in itself is going to help you, I think, make some headway in terms of some of these pentacle related things. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Let's see, catching up on this. Thank you, Ness. I appreciate it. Jelly Bean, thank you. Asha, can you read out the cues so we know who's in the order? Yep, you got it. So we're gonna have Rosie, Janae, Jeremy, Rome. Who else do we got here? And we have Asha, Christine, and Neerman. So I'm gonna leave this open probably for another, leave it open for like another 5 minutes or so, and then we'll close down the queue. All right, so let's read for Rosie. And I saw she popped in here. There we go. Sorry, I had to scroll up. And I got you, Bonnie. I'll get you next. Rosie says... Did you have a particular question, Rosie? Let me know. You're welcome. Hey, Rain Shadow, you can scan the QR code and you can make a donation for a reading. It's $20 for one card and $40 for 3. And Rosie, let me know if you have a particular question. I'm going to take Bonnie. Thanks for being patient, Bonnie. Bonnie says, hey Candace, I'd love a card reading, please. All right, Bonnie, do you have a particular topic? See, let's change decks. Let's go with this one. All right, Bonnie, I'm going to give you a general card. And let's just see what it says, unless you have, okay, perfect, about career, gotcha. All right, so let's see what this deck says for Bonnie. Bonnie's got career questions. Man, there's that 5 of Cups again. Bonnie, my dear, to me this seems as if like, when this card comes up, let's see what your confirmation card is, the Hermit. So to me, this seems like a lot of like reflecting on, okay, what didn't work? Like what's not happening? Like where is something not flowing? Like be careful getting stuck there. That coming up with the Hermit card is also indicating there's like a sense of needing to turn inward and really asking yourself like what is going to feel emotional, fulfilling when it comes to work. Sometimes the 5 of Cups is like, oh, you know, I'm bummed out because I didn't get, you know, my my salary increase, or I didn't get the review that I was hoping for, or I didn't get a call back for the job, or I'm not making as much progress or getting as much as I'd like out of what I'm doing. This is a minor card, so this can change. But I think that when this card comes up, there can be a sense of getting focused too much on sometimes what's not panning out, that it can kind of hold you back or block you from letting in the right things. So I would say watch for that. The combination between that and the Hermit card also makes me wonder if there's a sense of you really asking yourself or reflecting on whether or not this job feels like it's a good fit for you emotionally. Are you feeling like you're having to give things up, or you're missing out on things, or that you're you know, not able to kind of have that work-life balance that you would want? And if you're not seeing that right now, a lot of it can be, you know, coming up for you emotionally, so you can go, okay, is this going to be good for me working in this particular kind of job? You know, is this going to change? I would encourage you to be more focused on paying attention to those emotions and asking yourself, okay, what's next? Rather than kind of getting stuck and being like, nothing ever works, what's the point? You can get stuck in that cycle. Be acknowledging the emotions and going like, okay, all I can do is move forward. What can I be changing in terms of where I'm going? Like I just got done saying with the 5 of Cups, there's 2 cups that are standing up, which means if you're feeling stuck and not in flow with where you are, there might be other opportunities. There might be other openings. There may be other businesses that you can work for. There may be other potential partnerships that can be more fulfilling and potentially give you more of what you're looking for when it comes to developing more of your career. Equally, I would take a look at like what else is going on, because the 5 of Cups can be talking about feeling kind of stuck or feeling kind of stagnant emotionally as well. And that there can be some things where you're kind of dealing with some stuff emotionally that's also not giving you the full capacity emotionally or physically to really show up right now. And it can be really encouraging you, especially with that Hermit, to turn inward, focus more on what's going on with like health and wellness. And that needs to be the primary thing. And like, obviously, I know we live in the 3rd dimension, right? We have to pay bills and deal with like physical things. I get that. But for some people, it can be like this rat race of like, you know, well, I'm working this job that's kind of soul sucking, or it's not healthy for me, or I'm not, you know, really kind of making time for other things. So I wonder if that Hermit card's about kind of getting perspective and being like, okay, am I just in a funk, or is this really something that's not going to be conducive to me having a healthy, happy life? And I think you really want to like ask yourself that question right now, because if you like what you're doing, but you just want to see more growth or more development, I would encourage you to see what else is out there and not get stuck on what's not working where you are right now. Start looking for other windows of opportunity. If this is something that's impacting your health or your physical health, mental, physical, emotional, then it's about taking a step back and being like, is doing this actually the best thing? Just working through this and not really addressing the problem. And it might indicate that it's a time for you to really reassess and decide whether or not, you know, you're going to either take a mental health day, or if you're going to be taking some time off to kind of recalibrate before deciding what direction you're going in. Okay? Good luck. Happy healing on that, Bonnie, because I definitely think that's what's going to be coming up for you quite a bit. And for Rosie, Rosie wants guidance on career and spiritual growth. Let's do it. Let's see what the cards have to say for that. It was in this order. Interesting that you got 2 court cards coming up here, which can be talking about your relationship with other people. Here's a question I have for you. Page of Cups, 7 of Swords. Are you finding that there's some challenges coming up right now in regards to doubting other people's intentions? Is there issues coming up in regards to doubting your relationships with other people? I say that because Page of Cups can talk about partnerships, connections, the beginning process. It can talk about people that are younger than us. It can talk about people who, especially the Cups, can talk about new romantic connections. I know you're asking more about career and spiritual stuff, but that's kind of what this card is about. Followed by the 7 of Swords, which can talk about right now being in a period of like questioning, like, is this right for me? Am I missing something? What's not clicking? Like, you know, can I trust myself in terms of where I'm going? Like, what's the deal here? I don't know if that's maybe clouding some professional stuff for you, maybe. I don't know if this is about you also like questioning who's right for you to be working with or collaborating with. Sometimes the Page of Cups can talk about a water sign. So it can be a Cancer, a Pisces, or a Scorpio. But I'm getting the impression just looking at this that you're like, yeah, give me direction on career and like work stuff and like what I need to know because other stuff is not working. And what's coming up with the cards is like, yeah, that other stuff is actually creating some static in your life. And doubt about relationship stability or, you know, whether or not you can continue to kind of stay emotionally connected with another person. The Knight of Pentacles comes up as the final card. So it does talk about assessing, being cautious, getting stable, like almost in a way where you're like, yeah, something's not going well with like a connection that I'm having, or I'm having a lot of doubt as to whether or not this is going to be something that's going to be healthy for me emotionally, or, you know, in terms of your spiritual stuff, in terms of your work stuff. And the impact that it's having on you. And the Knight of Pentacles can be about kind of holding back and kind of pumping the brakes a little bit, and becoming a little bit more careful in regards to who you're willing to kind of have in your emotional space, if that makes sense. The Knight of Pentacles can talk about also you know, being like a little bit more cautious and being like, okay, I'm going to kind of slow down. I'm going to focus more on my health, my wealth, my well-being. It may also be talking about actions that you're taking where you're like, you know what, this is like a sign that's coming up for me right now that it's not relationship territory at the moment, and you're redirecting that energy back into yourself and what you can create, what you can produce, things that also might be new opportunities for making money. Knight of Pentacles can be new job opportunities. It can also be talking about you actively going out there and launching something new, or actively going out there and promoting your business. If it's, you know, in a professional sense, it can be about whether or not you feel comfortable doing that with certain individuals, depending on what you're doing work-wise. I also feel like something else that I would, you know, consider is where doubt creeping into professional things right now can be creating some problems. And maybe this is about you sharing some of your thoughts or some things that you're hoping to do professionally with people and not getting the feedback that you want, or not finding that other people are completely supportive or like the best partners to be having around to be giving you feedback, because it can be creating some doubt. But for the most part, the Knight of Pentacles is kind of the saving grace here, because I do feel like it's stabilizing. I do feel like it's also going to be focusing on practical results, like doing things step by step and like seeing some of these things come to manifestation. And I think about, once again, the astrology in the next week or two. Mars going into Virgo is going to be a wonderful time for a lot of people to get their act together. Trines to the North Node, which is about organizing and better taking care of money, health, and also our eating habits and our personal habits. We're going to see oppositions to Saturn, where we have to get real about the fact that, healing is going to take time, or productivity needs to continue. We're not going to see immediate results. And then finally, we are going to see trines both to Jupiter and Uranus. And we're going to see where the willingness to have better boundaries and to say no, or no thank you, or not right now, or that's not good for me, and to be actually doing the work, we're going to immediately start to see the results when we start seeing the trines. So this is about taking your time and not getting agitated that certain things aren't happening immediately, and really trusting your gut and listening to your intuition when it comes to knowing like where to be more protective of your energy emotionally, so that way you can stay grounded and super focused on some of these things that you're looking to accomplish. Okay? Good luck. Hopefully that's helpful. I've got Janae, and then Jeremy, and then Rome. And we have last call in the next 30 seconds. So if you guys want to get in the queue, go ahead and join. All right, so Janae. Empress. I like that. Hey, Candace. I'm relocating to help my mom recover. Everyone is saying she will not get better, but I'm not agreeing with that. I will be separate from my husband for the summer, so that's a little hard for me with 2 kids. Is there any indication that I can use my healing abilities to assist my mom in her healing this summer? Well, I am sending you lots of good healing vibes and positivity. Let's take a look and see what these cards say about being able to help mom recover. And this is for you, Janae. In this order. Is she spending a lot of time alone? Is that kind of the feeling that you're getting? Is she like lacking companionship? Like, I know you're saying you're going to go because you're going to help her with health related things, and obviously you want to help her heal, but is there something like that that's going on? I definitely kind of get that feeling. 4 of Cups is talking about like not feeling connected to anything, like not feeling that, anything is bringing you excitement anymore. If you see this man, he's standing at the party and everybody's having a good time and they're cheersing him and all this stuff is going on, but he seems like he's just like not checked in, like he's not present. So 4 of Cups coming up is essentially just like saying, okay, nothing is really making her happy. Nothing's bringing her joy anymore. She's seeming to kind of like not have any excitement. She's like losing hope, and she can feel lonely. This is about being in a room full of people and still feeling kind of lonely. So, what's nice is that you go from this in the past position to the present, which is the 2 of Cups, which is the offer. That's you being like, I will come and be with you. I'm offering you companionship. You see a man and a woman sitting together on a bench, and they're just kind of like engaging with each other and getting to know each other. And it's that first beginning feeling of, oh, okay, this is exciting. Like now we can get to know each other more and talk more in depth about our interests and like really develop an emotional bond. So the 2 of Cups does talk about you going and meeting with her and bringing more love and bringing more happiness and bringing more fulfillment, because she's not going to be alone, right? And that it does seem to me like also you're going to have support in regards to your relationship. So I get what you're saying. It's hard being away from your family, being away from your partner. But this also makes me feel like you have support from your relationship, and it can be actually really positive for your relationship, because you can have more appreciation for your partner and realizing that them staying there, holding down the fort, taking care of the kids and being there and being your emotional support, like may actually help you grow closer to your partner. So that seems to be good as well. I actually don't have concerns looking at this for that. And then finally, the Eight of Wands coming up. And so that does seem to kind of talk a little bit more about rapid movement, things progressing very quickly. The Wands is about energy healing. It can also be about hands-on healing. It can be about anything in regards to getting her a little bit more mobile or a little bit more active. Even if she's feeling a little under the weather, I wonder if this is going to be like, okay, you know, I'm going to take her for a stroll in the park, or I'm going to, you know, take her for a walk. I'm going to take her to go and spend time outside and just find ways to get her engaging with the element of fire. Creative projects can be helpful, but I wonder if there's going to be some sense of you know, trying to move the energy around in her body. I know that sounds weird, but this is about movement. And it can talk about rapid development of physical changes. None of like the actual healing cards came up, so I'm not saying that that doesn't mean that there can't be some kind of positive impact. There can be, because it looks like the impact is going to be having somebody around and somebody who is like actually encouraging her and working with her and trying to promote some kind of change likely is going to be beneficial. I have sometimes seen with the Eight of Wands coming up in the end position that is an indication that there is going to be a rapid kind of movement in one direction or the other. So you may start to kind of see, you know, just within a matter of weeks that there's going to be a significant shift that's going to be happening with her, where there may be more mobility or there may be more action. And the confirmation card that I get is the Two of Swords. So it's basically saying, like, in a way, I feel like this is more or less being left up to her and how she decides to kind of handle this, you know, particular really difficult time and obviously a difficult diagnosis. I feel inclined to tell you also, like, you know, I've read a lot of stuff about like healing. I've read a lot of stuff about people who are terminally ill and how the body works and how the mind works in regards to being told some of these things. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but you know, I look at this and I wonder like how much could potentially change just by having somebody around her that's like, we're not going to accept this diagnosis. We're going to keep working with you. We're not going to give up. Like, go and put her outside in the sunshine, as crazy as that sounds. I've actually been really interested in reading articles the last week or so talking about people who have been told that they're terminally ill and just sitting outside reading a book for an hour or two every day, getting some sunshine and then coming inside. Like, the amount of positive effects that has had on some of their diagnosis that was pretty shot, you know, being told that you're terminally ill only to find out that being more present, being in the sun, being around positive people, having also herbal support and alternative medicines can make a huge difference. So I definitely feel like any healing capabilities you have or energy work, I would encourage her to work with you because I think it can be positive. But I think it's a matter of having somebody who's going to say to her, no, we're not just going to accept this. Like, we're going to try to make something happen. And it looks like it's going to be about 8 weeks long that you're going to be focusing on doing this. And if you can shift things in regards to her attitude and also the way she's feeling, there can be a huge shift that can kind of go on here. And if she's a Scorpio, right, obviously these eclipses that are happening in Aries is all about health. It's you know, it's hitting 6th house to Scorpio's sun. So it's about health and things in regards to action that they are taking. Aries is the self. So I'm hopeful that at the very least you might see an improvement of her mobility and her energy and also her happiness. But I think more than anything, it's like knowing that there's somebody who's not giving up on her, right? That's helping her. Sending you guys lots of healing vibes. I hope that's helpful. So readings are now closed. We've got Jeremy, Rome, Asha, Christine, and Nerman. What's up, Enchanted? Hello, I'll get it on the next one. Can I use the membership reading for a small personal reading, not live? Oh, okay, somebody caught it. But no worries. If you want a tarot reading, let me know. I can do that, or I'm happy to read for you next week for the astrology, whichever you prefer. If you're here, always happy to help. Let's go ahead and take it. Jeremy. Jeremy says, can I get a general love reading? Thank you, Empress. Sending you guys lots of love. All right, Jeremy, this is for a general love reading coming at you here. in this order. Five of Wands, Knight of Cups, Page of Swords. To me, this is kind of like a feeling of like coming back after having a period of time where you feel like you haven't been received well, or something hasn't been going in your favor in terms of relationships. Maybe you feel like you've been like fighting to connect with someone. Maybe you've been feeling like you've been challenged when it comes to making headway in a romantic relationship, and like you're kind of feeling like you're getting blocked, right? So there is some sense of getting blocked in a way. Five of Wands talks about combativeness too. So if you feel like you've been fighting an uphill battle in an existing relationship, or that it's been really challenging to kind of connect with somebody or get through to someone, that's in the past position. So it kind of talks about you've been going through that recently. I wonder, you know, has there been an issue with a particular person, or has there been a sense of you being a little bit more restless and kind of fighting against making headway or making progress in relationships? Which is possible. And then the Knight of Cups comes up next. And this can be talking about a relationship, the beginning of a potential relationship. It can talk about your connection also with a water sign, so Scorpios, Pisces, Cancers. I like the Knight of Cups because it is about being more romantic, more receptive. It is about, you know, kind of wearing your heart on your sleeve. And it can talk about the development of like a very romantic kind of emotional connection with another person. Is this you finally processing the past and being like, okay, now I'm ready for something real. I'm really ready to tell somebody now that I've, you know, worked through the past issues. I'm really ready to kind of tell somebody what's on my heart, what's on my mind. And taking action, because Knights are dedicated to their cause. So there can be a sense of you being like, okay, I'm going after what I want, or I'm really feeling open to relationships and I want to get out there and like connect with somebody again. Followed by the Page of Swords, which can essentially be talking about wanting to share your emotions with other people, learning how to be more open and how to be more transparent and vulnerable. Conversations with people about what's on your mind and what's on your heart. I'm wondering if you've been like going back and forth about reaching out to somebody, reconnecting with somebody, you know, talking to somebody and telling them how you're feeling, because the Page of Swords is about taking the first steps in communication. And so that can be writing an email, making a phone call, texting someone. But I have this feeling that it's about you finally acknowledging and being like, okay, now I'm ready, right? Like now I'm like ready to like let the universe know that I'm ready to take a step forward. So if you're in an existing relationship, it's about having those conversations and not being afraid and not letting like past issues kind of affect the present. If you're in a situation where you're single and you haven't been really sure what you want, or maybe you haven't really been so open to dating, or you haven't had a lot of luck, I do think this is an indication that there is going to be a sense of you seeing that there is more opportunity for relationships. It's going to be about communicating and expressing what you're looking for and what you want, and being more open and more transparent and vulnerable with potential partners. And it may be in the beginning process of you starting to talk more about, okay, you know, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I want, and actively going out and trying to kind of connect and meet with people. I'm excited to see the Knight of Cups in the present position, because it tells me that you've worked through anything, or you've been in the process of working through anything that hinders you from being able to have a healthy relationship. So you've actually kind of put in your time, done the work necessary, and now you're going to be a little bit more emotionally ready. So pay attention. And if you if you happen to be a water sign, you might be connecting with an air sign. And if you're not a water or an air sign, it can be talking about meeting one of these two people, and maybe potentially having two options. Although I don't really see the Page of Swords being somebody who's choosing one or the other. It kind of seems like you're just focusing on getting the words out and being able to express yourself better. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Oh, okay, Enchanted, I got you. Tarot reading on the current situation. Okay, let's take a look. Oops, that's the wrong deck. Hello. So let's take a look. This is going to be for you, Enchanted. So what is currently going on that they need to know about? Thank you, Jeremy. I think it's about having that conversation and letting that person know what's up and what you're feeling. Because if there's been limits in the past, it looks like it's a matter of having that opening conversation and being like, this is where my mind's at. Can we talk about it? And I think that the way that you're going to approach it is really very gentle, if that makes sense. Okay, Enchanted, this is for you. We've got the Moon, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. Interesting cards. Obviously, the Moon card can be a little bit of like a wild card, right? It's just, in a way, it does talk about, you know, paying attention to dreams, omens, symbolism, things that happen, you know, intuitively for you, and things that don't necessarily make sense. This can also be about working through current fears, especially as they relate to your physical, you know, experiences right now. So, you know, I'm wondering, are you having doubt or concerns revolving around money, resources, what you're going to be doing work-wise? Are you having doubts and concerns and not having a lot of clarity about what direction you're going with your finances? Queen of Pentacles in the center tells me, like, you're solid. Like, there's something about this that makes me feel like you're setting yourself up in a way where you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know I have the capabilities of being able to make something happen. I know that you're also feeling a lot of pressure right now, especially being, you know, an Aries rising. The Aries placements right now are really getting crushed because we're starting to see the North and the South node change signs pretty soon, the squares to Pluto. So Mars coming into an opposition with Saturn. I mean, that's a lot for the transits for your chart right now. And I think probably the big thing is like remaining solid in the midst of what's happening, right? The next month is going to be a huge turning point for you. I do think that this is about leveling up. I think the Pluto square is about leveling up and like coming to terms with the fact that certain relationships with people professionally, or certain clients, or certain people that you've kind of collaborated with, like, are not working for you anymore. And there is a need for you to kind of step into something new. The Moon can be talking about intuitively in regards to your career, and it can also be talking about your home. So there can also be a sense of you being like, okay, what's happening? Do I have the wherewithal and the capabilities to be making a change in my living situation? The truth is that between the Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups, ironically, it says that there are doors that are opening up for you that are going to make it possible for you to make these changes and to not feel scared about embracing something that's different or unknown, because there's going to be new relationships and new support that are kind of coming in, right? Something that you're going to see that's going to set up pretty beautifully in the fall is just a number of planets that are going to go through your 7th house. So right now, for an Aries rising, yeah, making changes in career and home are kind of the name of the game. And then the next step is going to be, once you've done that, okay, who comes into my life that kind of helps me rebalance things a little bit? Ace of Cups can be talking about the love that you have from other people. It can be talking about new opportunities to be focusing on being in environments or relationships or career-related things that you love. So it's really asking you, okay, you know, where are you going to feel the most supported? Where are you going to feel the most safe? Where are you also going to feel like you have the capabilities of having, you know, security within your home base, right? And not feeling worried or not feeling stressed out about where you're going to land. Obviously, the Moon rules your 4th house if you're an Aries rising. So you want to be like looking at, as the Moon is coming into, you know, certain aspects in your 4th, your 5th, and your 6th house. That's when you're going to start to see things kind of evolve in regards to your living situation. And I do feel like you have the capabilities, either physically or financially, to move. It's more like, am I going to be happy? Am I going to be safe and secure if I make a change in regards to my living situation? And I would encourage you to really tap into working with the Moon. I mean, you're going to get your answer here pretty soon when we have this new Moon in Cancer. It's going to go into your 4th house. It's going to oppose Pluto, and it's going to square the nodes. So it's putting a huge focus on changes in career and a huge focus on you being like, I'm going to make things happen. I'm not waiting for other people. I'm also not going to stay in the past. I'm going to move forward into the future. And you may find that there's a lot of support in a relationship that you have with like a woman. So it can be like another earth sign, Capricorn, Capricorn, Taurus, or a Virgo. And I'm also thinking that it can be a sense of you having like a lot of appreciation from people who might be clients or other people that you're working with, and getting like a lot of like recognition and appreciation and like encouragement to go and make some of the changes that you want to be making, and other people kind of having your back in the midst of that. But yeah, huge turning point. Is there anybody else in the chat that's an Aries rising? That Pluto square is a lot, especially if you're in the late degrees of the cardinal signs. Big changes that are going to be happening with home and career over the next month. Good luck. I know that it seems like you're kind of going blind right now, but you're being pushed to go into a completely different direction where you're embracing, I think, taking charge and not potentially just living in other places, but doing something else that's going to help you connect or collaborate with other people. Hopefully that's helpful. We got Rome who wants a love reading. Let's take a look here. Followed by Asha, Christine, Nerman. I got Adriana, Kemi, Girls Football Fund. I'm not sure who that is, but whoever that is. Let's see, I don't have your name. And then I've got Helen. Okay, so I've got all of you guys who got in there. Rome wants a love reading. What's up? Let's see what's going on for you in the love department. All right, it was in this order. Is that not almost the exact same cards that we got just a bit ago? Almost similar combination. 5 of Wands, 8 of Wands, followed by the Page of Cups. 5 of Wands and 8 of Wands. So what's going on? Are you like on the move right now? 5 of Wands is like moving away from conflict. Anyone who that would be solid. Well, Page of Cups is the final card, so it does say like the new relationship opportunity is definitely there. I would pay more close interest to like water placement, so Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But the 5 of Wands is saying like moving away from challenging combative situations or moving away from combative situations in the past. Maybe this is also you having your guard up a little bit and being like, I've dealt with a lot of, crap in recent relationships. I've had a lot of confrontation and conflict with people. I'm not going back there. I do not want to continue to kind of have this drama. But it's in the past. Followed by the 8 of Wands, which is just quickly, progressively moving in a different direction. So it can be saying that you're not so much on the hunt for a relationship as much as I think you're more focused on, I just need to get on with my life, or I just need to move forward, or I need to make a change. I need to see a shift. Like I'm focusing on where I'm going that's going to be taking me to my ideal destination, my ideal relationships, my ideal, kind of home life and like life that I'm building. So you're more so choosing a vibrational match rather than being like, I'm looking for a relationship. Which is probably a good thing. That's kind of like how it should be. 8 of Wands is also a card that can be saying that things can happen very quickly. Things can shift out of, thin air. It is a card that is about a lot of action. It can be talking about a lot of opportunities for physical connection. It can be saying that things are ramping up very quickly in terms of connecting with somebody new or traveling to meet with somebody or connect with somebody at a distance. And then finally, that Page of Cups can be talking about that new relationship that's just kind of now, blossoming. And it can be more about falling in love with the idea of love, the very first kind of connections you have with somebody, starting to have feelings, and being excited about where things are heading, especially considering where you've been. So it's a fine line of being like, yeah, I'm going to pursue what's in front of me. There does seem to be somebody who's interested. We're going to see where it goes. I'm excited. At the very least, I've got somebody who I can connect to. But in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, I also know where I've been, and I'm not going to lose sight of myself or lose myself again in a relationship. And even though this is the first beginning process, like, I'm not losing momentum. Like, I'm getting to know somebody, but I'm not losing momentum in my own personal goals and my own personal development. And, you know, options make sense because the Eight of Wands is like, there's this, and then there's this, and then there's that. And it's not even like the Seven of Cups, which can be more confusing. The Eight of Wands is like, you could pretty much just move forward in any direction very quickly if that's what you want to do. But I can see that the Page of Cups is kind of like, okay, you're going to go towards the one that you're going to have more of an emotional connection with. You're going to head in the direction where you're like, okay, we definitely are compatible in some areas, and like this feels like a good emotional kind of vibe. But once again, not losing yourself. Confirmation card I get also is the Ten of Swords. So to me, there's also this sense of finally making peace with the past and like letting that go and letting that cycle end, where maybe you have had insecurities or had fears, or, you know, you were afraid of really opening up to somebody because of what's gone down. And be mindful also with the Ten of Swords, like there is going to have to be some like definitive decisions that are going to kind of X some potential people out. So if you've got 2 or 3 people that you're interested in, that you're talking to, eventually if you end up choosing to move forward with one of these people, you are going to have to say no thank you, or it was nice getting to know you, to a couple other people, and really kind of like put an end to those connections to fully move ahead and be present completely emotionally with another person. But these water signs, okay, so Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer seem to be signs that are kind of popping up for you. It might also be that you're connecting with somebody who says to you, like, they've been through similar issues that you've been through. So that Ten of Swords can be somebody who's just like, yeah, I've also gone through a huge change in my life, and I made a bunch of shifts with my relationships, where I was living, or my career. And you might have something in common to talk about some of the changes that you have been making in your lives. And that'll be something that you guys can kind of like relate to within one another, right? Hopefully that's helpful. Let's see. So we've got Asha. 3-card spread, love life, and someone new. Who is coming in and when? No X's during this Venus retrograde, please. That should be what everybody is reciting. It's kind of hard with Venus retrograde, though. We definitely reevaluate the past, but oof, this one, especially for Scorpio placements, is pretty damn dramatic. So let's see what we need to know for love life. You're welcome, Rome. Good luck. So we are taking a look at what is being set up for romance. In this order, high triple threat. We've got 3 majors, which we don't always see too often. So this is about huge things kind of shifting in separate areas of your life, I might say. Especially when the Wheel of Fortune comes up, it really reminds me of like the turning points of the year, and the fact that, you know, we do see that during the fixed months, that's when we're going to see the most shift. I happen to know that you have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, so that tells me that some of the transits that are going to be taking place involving changes in your relationships are going to impact other areas of your life. So if you think about the cardinal houses, right, the angular houses, Venus going retrograde back and forth through Leo is going to square and oppose and make a bunch of different aspects. So it's going to be loud. The first card that comes up is the Star card, which is about connecting to a group of people, connecting to the collective. It's the calm after the storm. It's healing. It also represents like a wish and wish fulfillment and hoping to kind of achieve something or hoping to gain something. It's not necessarily a romantic card, but it is a card that does come up that talks about being able to achieve your goal because of groups of people or like-minded people. This is also a card associated with Aquarius, and it has connections to Uranus, it has connections to friends. So I'm getting the vibe that the Star card coming up is basically saying you've been working really hard on being able to heal things and moving forward. Now you're more so aware of what your goal is, and you're kind of moving forward into this next chapter and hoping that there's going to be a connection with someone. The Wheel of Fortune seems to definitely indicate that fate or fortune is on your side. This can also be a card that is associated with Jupiter. And if you're a Scorpio rising, obviously Jupiter going through your 7th house is going to represent opportunity for more socializing. Okay, for some women, it can indicate potential spouses and marital partners coming in. It can also indicate more opportunities to connect and travel. Believe it or not, the World card can be about that. It can be about going places or connecting with people who travel. I'm getting the impression that, because Venus moves very closely with Mars throughout the summer and then she turns retrograde, she's re-evaluating what is my status in the world? What do I want to be known as? Who do I want to be known as? Where am I working? How am I working to enjoy my career? Who am I partnering with? So obviously, during the Venus retrograde, because it's the ruler of your 7th house, we don't want to solidify relationships. We don't want to go, public. We don't want to get engaged. We don't want to get married. But it can be a time where there can be an actual reversal. So if you've had a dry spell and then there's a Venus retrograde that's going on like this, it might bring you back into relationship. It might bring up the topic of reevaluating, well, I've been single for a while. Now what do I want to be known as? Partnered. So the Wheel of Fortune is saying fortune is on your side, that the wheel is turning. I would really be looking at when Venus is squaring off with other fixed placements in your chart. So if it's squaring stuff in Scorpio, if it's squaring transiting planets in Taurus, especially knowing that Venus is going to be the focal point of that square, it's pushing you out into the 10th house. So because of growth and things that are going on with your professional life, it might be that you end up meeting somebody through work, or maybe there's a connection or a referral that you get to somebody at work. Maybe you meet somebody in a professional setting. That's possible as well. Or somebody sees the work that you're doing and then you guys connect. That's another way to kind of look at it. And then finally, the Temperance card coming up, which is the card of healing. I think probably even more so than the Star card. And this does talk about timing and patience. So I always laugh when I see these two together, because the Wheel of Fortune is yeah, I'm getting ready to give you this amazing opportunity. Get ready for it. And then the Temperance card is be patient, wait, just hold on, it's coming. You're going to start to see why you had to wait for something to kind of take so long to show up. This is about Aquarius, this is about Sagittarius, and this is about Sagittarius as well. So I'm not saying it has to be these signs, but I'm wondering is this a process that's playing out between, these time periods where there's going to be more growth between November and February of, 2024, maybe. I think that Scorpio risings who are single have a lot more to gain throughout this transit personally, because you're going to see, your 7th house Lord go retrograde, and it's going to square Jupiter in your 7th house and Uranus. For Scorpio rising charts that are committed, right, that are married or they're in committed related relationships, there's going to be more friction, and there's going to be more issues revolving around how does the relationship move forward and develop, and where is work getting in the way. If you're single, it's more how can you put yourself out there even more, join the collective, connect with other people, tell other friends about what you're doing professionally, go mix and mingle and connect with them. And through that 10th house, you might find that you have some lucky breaks and you collaborate with other people, you have clients or professional connections, and that may also lead you to meeting someone as well. You might connect with somebody and say, oh my gosh, I want you to meet my friend. You guys have a lot in common, and it came from a work meeting. And the Temperance card is the crock pot card. So it's everything in its own time, everything kind of comes together. And the confirmation card that we get is the 5 of Wands. So it's about not fighting the timeline, not feeling rushed, or that you need to kind of push the process along, or getting agitated because it's not showing up. I keep thinking about the last eclipse that's going to be happening in Taurus, and that's going to be around the 20th of October. Knowing that that is the completion finally of what has been a number of eclipses and transits in the 7th house, which has been radically changing relationships. You may also want to look at like transits that are happening to your natal Venus as well. So you're probably going to see more like when Mars goes into Scorpio in the fall, and when it starts coming into conjunction with like Venus and other, placements that you have in Scorpio, probably something else is going to be developing there as well. Right now, it's more about putting yourself in the spotlight, connecting with groups, and also reminding yourself that good things are worth waiting for, right? And if any Aquarius, significant Aquarius or Sag energy pops up, good luck. Good luck. All right, so I've got Christine, Nerman, Adriana, Kemi, girls football, and Helen. So that's who I have left. Okay, so I've got Christine. For a couple reading. Hey Candace, my husband Tim filed a complaint against his silent partner in business. What's the chance of us winning the legal issues? Will it be in our favor? And are we going to keep the company running? I need a heads up. Thank you. Let's take a look. You're welcome. Good luck. Thanks, Liz. All right, Christine, let's take a look. Let's see. That sounds like some sticky stuff. So what is the chance of you guys winning the legal issues, and are you going to keep the company running? In this order. So this is obviously Nine of Wands, the Lover's card, and the Nine of Swords. What's the confirmation card here? Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So a couple things. First of all, nines are always about kind of like reaching that moment where you're about to give up and you're feeling overwhelmed and things feel extremely heavy. Okay. So Nine of Wands is like, I'm going to quit. I don't know if I can go any longer. This is too much, but you push through that and you're like, no, we're not backing down. So in regards to the complaint, it looks like you guys are going to continue to kind of push this and you're going to continue to keep fighting it. The Lover's card makes me feel like there is an opportunity for you guys to like have a meeting of the minds and sit down and be like, okay, like let's solve this, or let's settle this, or let's make this go away. Like what can we do to benefit each other in the situation? The Lover's card also talks about choices and options, and it makes me wonder if it's been a situation where a pair of people are somehow, having challenges because it might feel like it's two against one, right? So obviously, you're husband and wife, and you've got a silent partner, and maybe the silent partner is feeling like threatened in some way in regards to the power, the control that you guys are actually having in regards to the business. So they're causing a bit of a fuss, or they're trying to create a bit of a ruckus. It makes me wonder also if there's going to be like opportunity for there to be other choices. And I'm wondering if you guys have considered potentially talking about buying them out, or bringing on another partner, or having another option, or having another choice. Because that can definitely like be happening. Like with the Lover's card, it means it doesn't have to be this or that. It can be something else. Especially if you're potentially like trying to buy them out and just take it over on your own, so you don't have to deal with somebody else who's getting in the way. Or it can represent that, you're thinking about bringing in another person and trying to offer to buy them out, just so that way you guys can kind of have a fresh start and have a clean slate. Obviously, stress is part of this with any legal issue, but especially with this Nine of Swords coming up, because it's saying like keeping you up at night, being really stressed out, wondering if you guys are going to make it through. Once again, nines are about getting ready to complete a phase. And the confirmation card that I got was the Wheel of Fortune. So that can basically be saying like, yeah, this is stressful. It's not ideal. You're kind of feeling like you're fighting an uphill battle, and there's definitely some challenges in feeling like you're going to be able to overcome the situation. But putting your heads together and being able to work together and trying to find a solution, and realizing that really this is all you can do at the moment. Stressing about it is not going to make anything better. There is nothing here definitively saying it's not going to work, it's not going to pan out, you're not going to be able to keep running your business. It's just more saying it's stress that's being put on the situation for good reason, Wheel of Fortune. So it can be saying right now you may not see this as something that's ideal, It might seem like a total pain and something that's bringing you a lot of strife, but at the end of this situation, it seems like it may shine a light and really kind of show you like where certain partnerships are not working or where some dynamics are not meant to be, especially in regards to continuing to kind of work together into the future. So it seems like a bit of like a headache right now, but it may materialize as realizing like it's time to kind of try to remove ourselves from this dynamic, trying to find another solution to either buy them out or make a change so we don't have to continue in this type of relationship where there is going to continue to be pressure and also like, you know, issues. His silent partner wants my husband to buy him out and my husband doesn't want to because he can't be trusted. Yeah, but the thing that you're going to realize is whatever ends up transpiring about this, like legally, I think, you guys are going to see that if there's any like sneaky stuff or any like sly stuff or like anything, like it may end up kind of shooting himself in the foot. Because the Lover's card does kind of talk about where somebody is like either having two options to choose from or they're playing two sides against the middle. So I get an impression that he can be like causing problems, but at the same time, like wanting you to kind of come in and buy him out and like going back and forth. And that may actually end up not working in his favor and working against him. And the Wheel of Fortune does talk about what goes around comes around. So if you guys are going through a period where you're, you know, you've done everything and you've done your due diligence and you've done everything right, that there can be a sense of you having, you know, good fortune, things kind of going in your favor. I like to see the Wheel of Fortune for like positive outcomes for like legal related things. So I do feel like it's not going to be something that's going to inhibit you from being able to, you know, work with the business or own the business. But I do think that really the blessing in this is like really kind of exposing and coming to terms with the fact that like this is not a good partnership dynamic and that it's a blessing in disguise that you may potentially be able to make the change or like finally, you know, really go your separate ways. I do think that that's actually probably what will eventually happen. So when you say that, you know, you don't want to because he can't be trusted, there's definitely ways around that and being able to really, you know, make sure that you know, cover all your bases legally to finally kind of separate. And it might be a lot easier for you guys to just run it yourselves or bring in another person. So you're not dealing with the stress, because the two nines that are kind of surrounding the Lover's card makes me feel like the added stress that it brings the relationship of not knowing and being worried and also feeling like you're under somebody's thumb is not the path that you guys want to continue on. But it seems to be positive in regards to the outcome legally, so I don't see that kind of hindering you in that sense, but definitely stress, you know, in the process that's going to kind of continue. And I would say, yeah, go to litigation, because you're going to end up finding that there is going to be a middle ground that both parties are going to agree on. And I feel like it's going to be in everybody's best interest to kind of sit down and negotiate. So that way everybody gets what they want, and hopefully you can get him out of your hair. Good luck. We've got Ness and Adriana and Kemi. So Ness says, question about the future partnership and timing. I'm partly manifesting something, but also curious, what is naturally unfolding? Okay, I like that. So let's take a look here and see for Ness about future partnership and timing. So I've got the High Priestess, the Five of Pentacles, and the Three of Cups. So what's the deal? Is it like you're focusing more on bringing in either multiple options, or are you telling yourself you need a little bit more time to kind of get things in order before the right person shows up? What's going on here? High Priestess is cool because this is a major arcana card. It does talk about your vision and what you're hoping to manifest and achieve. Maybe it talks about what you see in the future, what you're tapping into, you know, what you're feeling, what intuitive hits you're getting, what you're seeing in your dreams. And, you know, the High Priestess just sits and she waits to receive. She doesn't take action. So there's like a lot of all-knowing, waiting, manifesting, and allowing things to come to fruition. So when I see this card, it's kind of saying like you're really focusing on making sure that the picture is clear for what you're hoping to kind of bring into your life. Right now with the Five of Pentacles is like not ready, not happening yet, not seeing the connections yet, not seeing things, you know, unfolding quite yet. And honestly, the Five of Pentacles is about being in a state of being like, I need more, right? Being left out in the cold, right? Not feeling included or not feeling connected. So I'm wondering, are you just kind of telling yourself like, something's coming in, it's not quite yet time, I need to work on myself, I need to get some things in order, and be like really filling my own cup, and like working on Five of Pentacles things. So it can be working on health, it can be working on your wellness, it can be working on your finances, it can be working on your professional life, like getting things in order and feeling like you're getting things situated so you're more so ready and prepared when somebody arrives. Timing wise, it's interesting because this is a 3 and this is a 3, and then Five of Pentacles can be up to the 5-month period. So I'm feeling like you're getting a hit that something's coming in. You're like, whoa, I'm not quite ready yet. I need to get my ducks in order. And then probably what's going to happen is through socializing, connecting, going to a party, going to some kind of social event, gathering, you might meet somebody. You might meet more than one person also. Three of Cups can be about keeping your options open. So I'm also wondering if you're kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm getting a hit that I'm going to like meet somebody and it's going to be significant and it's going to be a thing. And you're like getting kind of squirrely going like, I don't want to give away my freedom yet. I like my time, I don't want to make those sacrifices. And I'm not ready to do that yet. And I'm going to have to really, meet somebody who's really going to show me that they're like the whole package to get me to want to kind of settle and commit to someone. Because the Five of Pentacles talks about not being ready in the moment, but the Three of Pentacles is saying, or Three of Cups, is saying, I'm having so much fun. Do I really want to settle into this? And maybe having more than one option or more than one choice. Ness says, starting to tap in and see intuitive dreams, receiving stance. I'm not ready yet now. I need to get some things in order, emerging after that clears the next few months. I'm getting hits already of having that reaction and I'm not ready. Okay, cool. Most likely it'll hit when you least expect it. I think the Three of Cups is a fun card because it does talk about socializing and partying and getting out there and kind of, hanging out with other people and being in the moment and possibly being in a situation where, like I said, you might meet more than one person or you might meet somebody through a group of people and it just kind of hits you that you're like, oh my gosh, like it's this person. But right now, the Five of Pentacles is do what you need to do for you right now. It's not me telling you, oh, you need to heal. It's me being like, you need to get some stuff physically in order. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if this is also building yourself back up, and like making yourself feel like you're worthy. If it's giving yourself all the things that you want to be given in a relationship. So you're kind of increasing that vibration of what you're attracting. And I would just say be present with really working on yourself because obviously, to be the best in a relationship, you have to be 100% with yourself first. Otherwise, if you're not, I think maybe that, wow, intuitively I'm getting this hit that it's going to be something really serious and like I want to be ready and I want to be able to kind of accept that when it shows up and when it arrives. Even if I'm a little unsure about how it's going to pan out, I need to do what I need to do to be ready to really show up and meet them halfway. And so be ready for that. The next 3 to 5 months, it looks like that's what's coming. And keep tapping into your visions and your dreams and what's going on for you intuitively. Because I feel like it's going to give you those confirmations. So when that time comes, you're going to be like, oh, I had a dream about this. Or like, this symbol keeps coming up for me. Or like, I just have a strong feeling about this. And you're going to follow it. And likely what you'll find is that it does lead you to having a connection that's going to be like really blissful and very exciting. Just watch out for those multiples. Good luck. I'm glad to hear that resonates with you and you're getting out of that Five of Pentacles situation and getting what you deserve. All right, so we've got Adriana, Kemi. You will be next. Wow, that's pretty specific, Ness. I like that. Adriana says, Am I going to find a clean house to move into soon? I got sick from mold exposure in my parents' house and I've been stuck living in a hotel and I'm starting to lose hope that I'll find something soon. I'm a Libra rising, Sag moon, Virgo sun. Oh, well, first of all, mold poisoning sucks. So I'm sorry to hear that that's been going on and I hope your health is better. And as a Libra rising, you got the nodes that are about to change signs and Pluto's in your 4th house. And so it's squaring Pluto. So a lot of Libra risings are having sudden, unexpected things happening at home, or there's sudden transitions in the family, crisis relating to your physical home or dwelling. And things that can be deadly and make you sick can be Pluto. So I'm glad you got out of there. So the crisis relating to your living situation definitely makes sense. And what I'll tell you is that you're going to have an opportunity, especially like mid-December into January, to move again. I know you don't want to hear that. I'm sorry. And that'll be when you have a Mercury retrograde that is going to be with Mars. So I could definitely see you maybe doing something temporary and then being like, okay, I'm either moving back to a place in the new year or moving into something that can be more permanent. But let's take a look and let's see, especially knowing that Mercury is going to retrograde in Sag near your moon. That's probably what's going to happen. Let's take a look at what the cards say for you. So let's get some direction on finding a clean place for her to move to. Well, I mean, I couldn't think of a better card than the Sun card. It's about fulfillment. It's about getting what you want, finding something that's bright and sunny. It might be that you find something on a Sunday. Okay, I know that sounds silly, but it is possible. It can also be talking about connections that are coming possibly from a father figure or from a friend. But the Sun card is like, yes, okay, I got what I needed. I'm really excited. I'm really happy about this change that's coming. And the card that I got that confirms this is the 9 of Cups, which is the wish fulfillment card. 2 really great cards for your situation right now. Because the Sun card is about finding something that's going to bring you joy, happiness, security. It also can be really great for your creativity. It can be really great for your happiness. It can be great for self-expression. I'm wondering if you're finding a place that's like warmer in colors. So I would look for things that might have like hints of yellow, as weird as that sounds, or orange or gold, or things that might have symbolism connected to the sun, or anything in regards to, a place that's going to be more lively and a little bit more action oriented. That might have younger people, or there might be lots of entertainment nearby. That's something else that I would kind of think of as its connection to the sun. And the fact that you're getting ready to see Sun and Pluto oppose each other pretty soon. So likely there can be some involvement actually with a parent in regards to your living situation. I would be looking at the Sun-Pluto opposition as, do you get feedback from a father figure or a mother figure in regards to a living situation? Do they jump in and talk to you about making a change and help you in some capacity? Do they shine a light on, hey, I found this place, check this out. I think you might like it, or I have a friend who's going to be renting something. Stay in contact with your family because I think that can be really helpful. Equally, I would say the Pluto squares can be talking about how your own family is going through like some kind of crisis in regards to the living situation. So it might be also about what they're doing to kind of deal with this and shining a light on that and making sure that you're doing what you need to do to take care of all of your guys' health. But I would look at this over the next month in particular, and you might get a lot of support from a parent that's going to be shining a light on something and being like, hey, check this out. Because to be honest with you, the transits are actually quite positive. I just wonder if you're going to be doing something temporary and then moving again in the new year. So if you can't find what you like, I would say, can you find somebody who is doing like a sublease, or somebody who has to break their lease, or somebody who is, suddenly having to kind of move out, and it's like a chance opportunity that you find something? Because likely what you're going to find, I think, is going to actually make you really happy, to be honest with you. So there is light at the end of your apartment hunting tunnel. I would look for this in the immediate next month. Okay. Good luck, Adriana. We've got Kemi, and she says, 1 card reading. Will I get a job soon? All right, let's take a look. Will I get a job soon? Ooh, I like this. This is for you, Kemi. I get the King of Wands, which is a wonderful card. This is a card that talks a lot about you being able to show the world what you got. It's about your talent. It's about your creativity. It's about your actions. Obviously, to be a woman, you know, pulling a king can be talking about you channeling that action, masculine side, and being like, I'm going to go after this. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to, you know, go for that job. I'm going to stand out, and getting recognition for something that you're doing professionally. Now, this can also materialize as having encounters or interactions with fire sign men. So Leos, Sagittarius, and Aries, I would keep an eye out for. King of Wands can be somebody who is very bold and creative, and somebody who definitely is going to kind of shake things up a little bit. It can be like work involving creative fields or entertainment or travel, advertising, marketing. The list goes on. Things that are going to be more kind of like creative or, activity driven, if that makes sense. And I definitely feel like, you know, for this King of Wands to be coming up, it can be somebody who's also like inspiring. So I wonder, like, do you end up meeting, you know, somebody who owns their business and they're like, hey, I need an assistant, or I need somebody who can help me kind of organize things or put things together, because the King of Wands can be so focused on creating that he's not the best at organization or administrative skills, or somebody who can kind of do like practical tasks. So I'm wondering if you're, you know, looking for something and you want to do something that's different and outside of your usual kind of wheelhouse, you might find somebody who's like looking to bring somebody in to kind of help them get organized or help them set things up or manage a business or support them in some way. And it can be fun and it can be like kind of lively and give you a little bit of a break from like a monotonous kind of 9-to-5 job. But he's going to be somebody who's going to be loud, passionate. And if it's you and it's about you exploring your own creative endeavors and trying to find a way to be like, do I start a side hustle? Like, is it possible for me to do something creative for myself? It's about finding what you're good at, like what talents you're good at, and refining them. Because kings are masters of their trade, right? So when I look at that card, it tells me that you're kind of figuring out how to be the most creative. Shuffled the deck twice now, and I'm still getting that 9 of Cups in the bottom. There's the King of Cups. So I do think that it is about feeling emotionally also like, okay, I'm going to go after this. Like, rather than like letting yourself kind of get hard on and down on yourself, like, oh, what's the point? You know, I'm going to keep trying. It's about really pushing yourself out of your emotional comfort zone. And I think maybe it's even like approaching somebody and being like, hey, like, you know, you need some help here. Like, let me come and help you. Like, let me show you what I can do to kind of help you. And it might be that you're having to kind of emotionally push somebody or coach somebody or kind of nurture somebody. But it might actually end up being something that's kind of good. And like I said, I think it'll be entertaining at the very least, and help you kind of get back into the swing of definitely working. So yeah, it's about being creative with how you go about kind of seeking employment. Okay. Good luck with that, Kemi. Sending you lots of good job, Juju. So we've got Girls Football Fund, who says, is my love interest being honest? Ooh, these are the kinds of questions that always have juicy responses. Let's take a look. So, is your love interest being honest? Three of Pentacles. They're working on it. 6 of Cups. I like that for you, Liz. You know, I get the vibe here that 3 of Pentacles is not that you have no reason to trust them, but more like they're getting into the swing. They're learning, right? They're learning how to partner, or they're working on some of the issues or some of the challenges that they have in terms of relationships and commitment. But 3 of Pentacles is saying willing to work on it, working on it with you, working as a team, being able to kind of build together, being able to find ways to make relationships work, right? If you're Libra rising and you're Libra sun, all these eclipses that are going to start coming in are going to be a lot. You already had one in your 7th house, but you're going to see with the South Node going into Libra, Libra and Libra risings have to learn how to go, it's not just about me, it's about other people too, and you're learning to be more attentive to other people, right? It also brings you more into relationship with other people. So this whole working together totally makes sense with your astrology. And when the eclipses start happening in the fall in Libra, you're going to realize it's about an identity shift that's going on. And for some Libra risings, they're tapping into the 7th house where they're more willing to have conflict with other people and they no longer want to be a pushover. For other Libra risings, they're learning that it's really important to dedicate time to partners and be really devoted to partners right now. And North Node in Aries is about partners who are being like selfish or active or aggressive or moving too quickly. So some of you guys are going to experience that in your relationships. But I do think that these are things this person is willing to work through. And the confirmation card I got is the 6 of Cups, which means even if you guys have some challenges or some hangups or miscommunications, you're going to see that they're still going to come back. They're not going to go anywhere. They're still going to return. So they're going to be like, I'm still here. I'm still trying. I haven't left, which can be really good for you if you're a Libra rising, Libra sun, because the Pluto squares right now are about learning to trust other people, learning to also kind of clear out past emotional baggage or past family karma. And these changes that are happening for you on an emotional level are propelling you further into relationships. So if that's what you're doing right now is like trying to stay committed, but at the same time being mindful that if other people are kind of not doing their due diligence in the relationship, keep meeting them halfway, you know, communicating and talking about what works and what doesn't work for you. But I don't think you have any reason not to trust them, and I don't get the impression that they're being dishonest with these cards. If you're, you know, having some doubt or something, talk to them about it. Likely you're going to get some response like, okay, I hear what you're saying. I'm working on it. Like you might want to let them know that some of the ways that they're communicating or behaving has you kind of doubting their connection to you. Give them the opportunity to be able to correct that and find that you guys can actually strengthen the bond of the relationship moving forward, right? Hopefully that's helpful. Helen says, if there's anything that sticks out to you, I recently moved and trying to figure out if I should stay where I moved to and a work situation. Okay, so let's see if there's anything that sticks out to me. Congratulations on moving. Let's see if the home and the living situation and work are all going to stay or if there's going to be more change. You're welcome, Lisa. All right, Helen, this is for you. In this order, there we go. So we've got the Chariot, the Queen of Cups, and the Empress. Well, these are all positive cards. You know, this coming up for you, Pisces rising, thank you for the info. The Chariot card does kind of talk about like the recent move and the changes and the movement, but I'm wondering if like, did you move for work or did you move and then have to find a new position? Like what happened here? The good news is the Chariot card is about getting your ducks in a row. So it's like there was forward motion. Maybe things moved very quickly and you were like, okay, I had to move quick. Did I move too quick and not suss this out appropriately? Like, you know, is this the best situation for me? Is it not? Seeing the Queen of Cups and also seeing the Empress makes me feel like some of this change, which has been recently going on, and I think will continue to keep happening, is actually really good for you. The Chariot can be unsettling. You can feel like you're going so quickly and making decisions so quickly that, you know, things very quickly become overwhelming and you're like, what did I do? Do I stay here? Do I not stay here? in the back of my mind, knowing that you're a Pisces rising, I kind of feel like some of the most career developments are really going to be happening for you from about the end of October into January. So just know that I'm not saying you have to wait that long, but between eclipses and trines that are going to be taking place, you're going to see that there's going to be more action in your career zone during that time. The Chariot seems more like it's been more about you getting to a new home location, figuring out your emotions, getting things organized, like really focusing on your home life, your domestic life, your private life, and your emotional security, your emotional stability, making sure that you enjoy where you are, you're taking care of yourself, you're feeling inspired and happy and comfortable in your surroundings with the Queen of Cups coming up. It can also be, talking about the fact that you're making decisions for what's best for you emotionally right now, and really trying to create and curate like this perfect space. I know that a lot of Pisces risings, especially like the second half of 2022, had a really difficult time because, Mars was retrograde in your 4th house. So there was a lot of, do I move? Do I not? Do I move? Do I not? And you were probably finding that back and forth was exhausting, but also there was a lot of, how is this going to affect my career? How would this affect a potential relationship? It sounds like before finally pulling the trigger this year and moving. I do think that if you like where you are and you feel emotionally at peace, good. If not, give it a little bit more time. You might actually find as we're getting into the next couple of months, and you give yourself about another 3 months, you might actually really enjoy where you are and connect more with your home and feel like you're making it yours. The Empress also is a wonderful card because it's about what you're giving life to, what you're creating, what you're growing. But it's also about creating more time for beauty and harmony and really enhancing either your environment, your appearance, or just really dedicating yourself more so to creating more love and happiness in your life. This is a card that can also be talking about connections to home and family. So I'm wondering, with this move, where does that put you, right? Are you feeling like you're in a place where it's going to be more conducive to having family come visit you? Are you closer to relatives? Are you feeling like you're in a place that can be better for you in terms of really enhancing your private life? Because the Queen of Cups and the Empress are very similar in that sense, where they're really going to focus on, does this feel right? And you might kind of feel like I'm not at home yet, like I don't feel settled yet, or like getting here has been kind of like jumbled, but I do feel like when the dust settles, it definitely seems like relationships have more opportunity there for growth and also for harmony, as does like your overall sense of well-being and your happiness, and even your abundance can also be more positively impacted with that Empress card coming up for you. So if you moved, found a job, and now you've been planning to move, like to me it seems like it is possible there could be another move in the future. I would be mindful though of when you're doing it, especially knowing that there's going to be a number of like mutable squares. Pisces risings are going to have a much better off time moving probably either in November of this year, October, November, or when you're having some kind of action that's going on with your 3rd house, which you are, right? We're going to have an eclipse there at the end of October. Jupiter's in your 3rd house, Uranus is in your 3rd house, and you're going to see a bunch of squares taking place from your 6th. So to me, it seems like moving doesn't really work with your schedule right now. And trying to figure out when you can move is just more or less probably not so much in the cards over the summer, but it might be more feasible for you as you're getting into the fall. And in the meantime, I think it's really about focusing on where are you going to be the most happy, where are you going to feel the most abundant, where are you going to be able to also be the most kind of like creative, because I do think this is about being able to kind of make something your own. So if you're looking to like move into something more permanent or to be buying something, make sure it's a space that's going to allow you to be able to kind of decorate or do the things that you want to do to make the house your home, basically, right? And then confirmation card I get is the 6 of Pentacles. So help being there, assistance being there with that process. So whether that's finding the right people to help you find a home, or finding, the right circumstance, for you to be able to get assistance in the process of moving, it looks like that's going to be there. It's a very give and take process. And it may actually involve like other either partnerships, relationships, or family members in the process of this move actually kind of coming full circle. So you might find that there's other like female relatives or female friends that are kind of involved in the process, right? Good luck on the move though. It does look like it's going to happen again, but it looks like you're still kind of getting settled from the first move in general. Good luck with that for you, Helen. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay, cool. I think I got everyone. Those of you guys who haven't already given me a thumbs up, please do. I appreciate it before we end the stream. I hope that was helpful for those of you guys that got a reading. Those of you guys who are watching this in the playback, I always feel bad. Sometimes people will watch this and they're like, I'm trying to get my reading, and we're no longer live. So if you're watching this and it's the playback, we're here every Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, on 8 p.m. Eastern time, doing readings. Generally, you can check the community tab, so if you want to sign up in advance for a reading, you can. I'll post that a couple days before we have the live. Also consider subscribing to the channel or joining my membership so you can get readings. We're going to have Astro Weather coming out on Sunday, so we're going to be talking all about Mars going into Virgo. Give you guys some of my hot takes on that. Also, I have new products on my website. I've got new candles and stuff that I've been dropping. So if you guys want to check out my new candle line, go to my website at beyondtheveiledtarot.com. You can sign up for, taking a study at your own pace tarot or astrology class. There's webinars there, especially stuff on the Venus retrograde, booking readings, buying products. Check all that stuff out if that's something that interests you. And as always, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, hanging out with me, spending your Friday night with me. I appreciate it. I am so excited to see how some of these, readings manifest for some of you guys. I know that the summer is going to be quite wild. So as some of this stuff pans out for you, don't hesitate to circle back, leave me some comments on the video below. I'd love to hear how this, transpires for all of you. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good time, and I will see you guys back here on Sunday early in the morning for Astro Weather, and I will see all of you guys very, very soon. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend. You guys take care.